All right, this is the first podcast of the Three Idiots coming to you. Not
working title, by the way. Working title.
Coming to you probably not so live in my at my kitchen table.
By the time you get this, we probably won't even be together.
I believe we should call it Three Idiots with Meaningful Shit to Say.
But that's...
Go home, Josh. You're drunk.
Alright.
So anyway, I'm Chris.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Josh.
And for now...
Wise order.
Sort of. And for now, we're the Three Idiots. So, Bobby here wanted to talk about...
one world government.
One world government.
Yes, he did. We're talking about the pros and cons of it. What ifs? And what could happen?
All right, well let's
who rules? How many people?
Let's let Bobby Hill start this off.
I'm gonna start with a pro, because I believe that if one thing controlling the big show worked out before.
What do you mean worked out before? When?
I mean, like...
What, in Star Trek?
Yeah, fuck it. Look at Star Trek, the Federation. I mean, look what they've come to at that point.
It's still a fictional fantasy?
Yes, it's fiction, but it's very... I don't know, what's a good word?
It's plausible.
It's very plausible. You can go beyond war and...
So are you talking about like this the New World Order conspiracy where the the world's elite runs the government?
Yes, that's pretty much what I'm talking about.
Oh.
But it's a pro. I mean, again, every pro has a con. That's why I'm talking about the pro of one world government.
No, the conspiracy theorists, New World Order, where the world's richest people are doing nefarious things.
Well, no, it shouldn't be the world's richest people.
Okay.
Richest people. It should be the world's, not, I don't want to say smartest person, but again, it should be like politics.
Well, obviously, it's going to be politics.
Imagine one world government. The first thing that must be done for is religion. That's the only way it will happen. I think we will all agree on that.
Now is it when you come to my house, that's what we start talking about.
Well, that's the barrier that must break unity on Earth.
Well, yeah, and I agree in a sense, because religion is one of the most divisive ideas that mankind's ever come up with.
It's very good.
It's passed down by cultures, hundreds, if not thousands, throughout the world. There needs to be maybe a religion of science.
Well, we're kind of
no. What you just said, Josh, is
it's a metaphor.
You're
it's
feeding
not an actual religion.
Now you're feeding into the fundamentalist conservative Christian right in this country, who says that we don't. It takes faith to believe in science, just like Jesus.
But we're kind of straying from the point of one world government.
Well, yeah, but I just want to talk. I just want to hit on what he said real quick. That's all.
There will be something as a religion of science, but nothing is the context of what religion is.
Religion has dogma. There's no dogma in science. Science doesn't.
That's what I'm talking about.
Science doesn't give two shits what you believe.
Just like history, Brisson, history does not give a fuck about what happened.
Well, history is subjective, though, and science is objective. So I'd put more. I throw my lot in with science rather than history.
There's still people who try to disprove history of everything out there. And there's always.
Well, and that's fine because
you just saw the lemur monkey. That's the oldest primate fossil that is related to us, 55 million years ago.
But how can that be when the Earth is only 10,000 years old, Josh? Jesus said so.
Praise it.
All right. Let's get back on.
Let's stray really far from our main point.
Let's get back on topic.
All right. What would be a con of one world government?
A
con? Well, it depends on. It depends on
how it's ruled. First of all, would it be
we don't.
Group?
Well, the idea now of one world government is apparently is the richest people being in control of the government. That's how it's being looked at now. But I'm talking about one world government where people are actually elected into the world elects, like it has a mass election.
like every country has like a representative, sort of like our Congress or
like
Senate.
a new Senate, where instead of 54 or however many we
it's
have,
a worldwide Senate.
Yeah,
like one representative who would act like the president of their country, but they would also be a representative of their country in the greater scheme of things.
Yeah. So when votes are made, these people are there to decide what's good, what's best for their continent, basically. It's
their country.
Country, yeah.
Not their continent.
Continent. Excuse me if I'm not Sarah Palin.
Perhaps it'd be like,
Still, okay, what's the continent? Sorry. We didn't really
I mean, again, though, if you're talking about the conspiracy theorist version of a new world, world government, then the whole thing would be a con.
Yeah.
I mean, might doesn't make right. Just because you're the most, one of the richest people in the world doesn't mean you get to make decisions for me.
But I kind of believe in the fact that the United States, at any point at any second, even right now as we're talking, could decide to launch however many nuclear missiles they have, however many nuclear silos they have lying all over the United States. They could just launch them.
Well, sure.
And if the president says so, the president says so. He says attack. He's the commander-in-chief. He has the overall say-so in the military.
Well, no, that's not true. Congress can override what he says.
But at a time of attack?
Because the president can't declare war, right?
Correct.
Only Congress can.
Yeah, but who's gonna? But that's still not going to stop with the repercussions of us launching all our nuclear weapons. Russia's going to be like, oh, hey, guess what?
Russia's not even.
Please, if you believe Russia's not nuclear armed.
Russia
is chill.
Yeah.
Russia hasn't been a threat in 20 fucking years.
Yeah, because they know the game. They know how to play the game.
Russia has evolved.
Russia's been around since Napoleon. They burned their own city to defeat Napoleon. And guess what? That worked. Russia knows how to withdraw. That's how Russia
That's
attacked.
what Saddam did in Kuwait, though, so what?
Yeah,
so
but
what if they
Saddam
burned their
got
own
caught
city
and
for
killed.
that?
That's his fault.
Well, not till way later than what I'm talking about.
Russia is doing its own. Russia is waiting for us to fuck up. I guarantee you.
No, if you filled in the blank with China instead of Russia, I would agree with you.
China, no, because China would either have to go by sea and challenge our navy,
or that's not going to happen,
or cross neutral airspace where they would cause wars with other countries. China has no way to get to us except for missiles, and if they have missiles, we have missiles. Mutual destruction is the term, and you know that. But we're still straying from the subject. God damn it!
Right?
No, we're not really. I mean, we're filling up the half hour, whatever we decided to make this podcast.
What are you on now?
But look, we can edit this. So in spirit of editing, I'm gonna go take a piss. Back from commercial break.
AKA piss break.
Hey man, there's a fifth of Jameson and a bunch of beer cans on the table, so
yeah.
Excuse me if I have a bladder like a 5-year-old little girl.
Alright, but we're talking about
one world government.
Yeah, one world government. So yeah, I like the idea, and actually the
idea is great.
I've made this case at work a bunch of times, because actually I work in a place that you can, for the most part, speak your ideas, and there are no repercussions as far as my job goes. So I do talk about being an atheist, and I talk about being mostly liberal, whereas most of the people I work with are not that.
What do they say about it?
Probably dumb. Single.
Well, we actually have good discussions at my job, and it's pretty awesome actually, especially for being a government job. But this one world government idea is something actually that I got from Zeitgeist.
Me too.
The third part.
I guess.
Moving forward that was the third part. The first part was a little. Fuck that part. This idea of a one world government is and this is something I've talked about at my job, having a one world government, because fuck nationalism. I get so tired of people of hearing people say, "Oh, the U.S. is the greatest country in the whole world." I mean, it's really not actually.
Yeah.
I mean, in some respects, it is, but
our freedoms, yes. We have more freedoms than most countries,
and those are getting slowly eroded away.
Oh yeah, our rights are being taken away one bit at a time.
But I get so tired of this. America's great. Fuck everybody else. I'm so sick of hearing that, and because we live on a finite planet with finite resources.
They're slowly being used up. Like, I watched this one video on Hulu about this one town that was an oil town, and it dried up, and it was left to shit. Like, what's going to happen to these other places that dry up? Like,
well, I mean, and you can find cities like that all over America. I mean, look at the old gold rush towns. I mean, for the most part, not even there anymore. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, they are physically, but the population's nothing.
Ghost towns. That's the reason why we have ghost towns.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen we're going to have more and more ghost towns as these finite resources dry up.
No, I mean, and we have the ability to rationalize and use logic and reason to come to conclusions about these things, and I always just wonder, if we're so fucking smart as a species, how come we still fight one another over stupid shit?
Because we're greedy.
Well, yeah, we are greedy.
That's the only part of our brain that's evolved, is how to make money.
Well, yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
People are willing to fuck other people over to make more money. You can watch even fictional shows has it. I was watching The Wire recently that HBO put out. And in one of the scenes, it was two guys that were fighting for the same job, and he even mentioned, he was like, "So you're making your move, huh?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, I'm fucking you over right now to make more money. People don't know how to, who don't know how to yield to another person's, let's say, intellect. Like, that they understand, like, maybe that person knows how to do the job better than they do.
But honestly, though, that's not really, like, say that was me and you, and you're better at the job than me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to stop me from trying to compete with you. That has to do with upper management, the people who actually choose the people who do the job.
Yeah.
So if you're in a situation like that, and fucking you got one dude who's better than the other, but the dude who's worse is my buddy, I'm going to pick him rather than you. Fuck you.
Yeah. But again, it's all about...
I mean, I don't blame the people going out for the job.
Yeah.
Because, we got to... Like, I have a chance to go out for the job just like you do. You happen to be more qualified than me. And it should be, based on that.
But it's all about who does what to get the job done, not what one knows to get the job done. It's about what one's willing to do.
I think what you mean is who one knows to get the job. Cause
that's pretty much just like saying what one's willing to do to get the job done. Yeah, the person may know somebody, but no matter what, that person knows, or however it fucking goes, has to do something pretty almost illegal.
And I won't do that.
But one world government. Let's try to get focused on. So do you think that one world government could help prevent any form of treason?
No. There are some crimes that you'll never be able to do away with. I mean, granted, you can probably draw a direct correlation between poverty and crime levels. But poverty levels cannot account for all crime, like crimes of passion, or like jealousy and things like that. You'll never do away with crimes like that. Honestly, and this is a bad word in America today, but I'm a borderline socialist. I mean, but what I mean by that is there's some ideas in socialism that I really dig.
What about the healthcare?
Yeah.
Even socialized healthcare?
Should be socialized. I mean,
I believe socialized medicine should be available.
Yeah.
I believe medicine should be available to everybody.
Yeah.
And
I mean, because look at, in our job situation here in America, not everybody makes enough to pay for insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I have to be...
I am so on board with any program that will give medical care to more people. I'm totally on board with it.
What do you think would be the outcome of a one-world government? Quick wrap up. What do you think? What do you think the positive and the negative could be?
For me, if we implemented a one world government where every country had a voice and we were all put on equal terms, I think that we could do a better job of allocating natural resources. I think we could do it would help us do a better job of moving technology along. I mean, because whether you want to believe it or not, I mean, technology is the driving force of pretty much everything these days. And you've got programs like the Mars One program, which is slated to launch in 10 or 15 years as the first colony on Mars.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. And I think it would benefit from a worldwide acceptance of things like that, because we live, again, I mean, as I said before, we live on a finite world with finite resources, and presumably we're not going to stop having kids anytime soon. So we need to figure out something, and I think the only way to do that would be to come together as a world and decide on our next course of action for humanity. I mean, and this is something I always like to say to my religious friends, is that the cradle of humanity was in Africa, and the cradle of civilization was in the Middle East. We are connected, all of us. We are equal, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, whatever. We all live on this planet, and until we start working together, there is no way, in my mind, that we'll survive the next 1,000 years. I mean, to be honest. Josh, final thoughts?
Final thoughts on a one world government, besides being a basis of one of my stories, actually. The pros and cons of it. Pros? Him speaking up. is a better free trade of resources. It's a proven fact that free trade is the best piece ever. I mean, look, first of all, American Revolution, we fight Britain. Who becomes our best friend right after the war? Britain. Why?
Well, that's because even during the war, the English were like, after this war's over, we're gonna resume trade with them.
There.
All right.
Keep going. After World War II, who's one of the best producers in the nation and are also our best import-export? Germany and Japan. I mean, hell, that's the free trade is helping each other out through resources and everything. And having one world government in which a city every 5 or 10 years becomes a capital of it, based off of like prime ministers and senators and legislators, but people voiced in districts and whatnot, can even it out and have representatives all over the world converging. I mean, having everything in the internet, there's no limit. Everything is like a huge library of information and resources, and I believe it's something that will happen only through breaking through a gate such as religion and just culture wars. So yes, I believe a one world government is in our future and it will benefit mankind.
Alright, Bobby?
My final thought on one world government is that if the one world government does come into existence, that there is more control on the monetary system, hopefully, because as we all know, the national bank, that's not real. We all know that. It's no part of any federal program. It's a private person making money.
Oh, I know. I mean, Fort Knox is basically a private company.
Hopefully that the government has more control over its monetary system, where the monetary system is actually a government program.
Or we could do away with it altogether, and
Yeah, but
that's the subject of another podcast. So carry on, carry on, Bobby.
But I believe that with a stronger watch over of how the government's money is spent, and where the money is allocated to, I believe that a one world government could work, and it could make a strong planet as it is. I mean, think of a global trash system that monitors all the trash in the entire world. That'd be kind of shitty, but
literally,
no pun intended.
No pun intended. But the world could end up to be a cleaner place.
We need to do a podcast about that. Green, going green.
Anyway, again, but that's my belief, is that we could have a strong one world government if done correctly.
All right, that is our podcast on one world government.